It's been almost 60 years since Frank Sinatra and the Rat Pack's version of Ocean's 11 hit theaters, and it's been now over a decade since the last installment of the rebooted franchise. Now, in 2018, the world is finally ready for an all-female version of the Ocean movies with Ocean's 8.
Good afternoon, Miss Ocean. As you know, parole is a privilege.
It's a mistake, but it happened. And if I were to be released, I would just want the simple life. I just want to hold down a job, make some friends, pay my bills.
As is normal with the Ocean films, we're given a star-studded cast. Sandra Bullock stars as Deb Ocean. She's the long-lost sister of George Clooney's Danny Ocean. She gets released from prison and she's concocted the perfect crime. She's going to steal a crazy expensive necklace right off the neck of a celebrity actress during the annual Met Gala. Cate Blanchett, Sarah Paulson, Rihanna, Mindy Kaling, Awkwafina, and Helena Bonham Carter round out the group, with Anne Hathaway shining as the self-absorbed target of the entire scheme. Now, Ocean's 8 follows the normal heist movie structure. The movie starts off, we'll hear the plan, they'll go into how they recruit all the members, and then, them actually pulling off the theft. The fun in these kind of movies always comes from the characters and watching, how these criminals kind of execute their elaborate and oftentimes implausible crime. This movie, though, has no coolness factor. It's lacking that coolness that Danny Ocean had in both of the prior films, the Ocean's 11 original film with Frank Sinatra and the George Clooney versions. Even though Deb Ocean, Sandra Bullock, even though she plays her as quiet and confident, this time she comes across more as like the bland sibling. The film itself, too, is just kind of playing it too safe. Anne Hathaway is great. Also a breakout star, Awkwafina, who plays like the pickpocket, and she's kind of the comic relief of the film. She's really good. The movie itself, though, is disappointing in a lot of ways, but it's entertaining enough to satisfy most who go in with low to average expectations. They really had a chance to expand on the Ocean franchise, though, but instead it seems like more of the same. I wanted this one to be a lot better, but Ocean's 8 just kind of is what it is. I give it a B-, just barely a passing grade for me. I didn't love it. I think some people will, though. I'd like to hear what you guys think. The other big movie opening this weekend is Hereditary. A lot of people are calling this the best horror film of the year, and not only that, but one of the best films, period, of the year. But is it?
Come on, Peter. Here's your suit.
It's heartening to see so many strange new faces here today. I know my mom would be very touched and probably a little suspicious. My mother was a very secretive and private woman. It's Grandma. You know you were her favorite, right? Even when you were a little baby, she wouldn't let me feed you because she needed to feed you. She was a very difficult woman, which maybe explains me.
Hereditary is a potent and eerie horror film that slowly builds and builds. It involves a family and some tragedies that befall them. There's evil spirits, aberrations, possessed bodies, and more than a few moments that'll burn into your eyeballs. Toni Collette is fantastic and absolutely bonkers in this film, but Gabriel Byrne as her husband should be given equal credit. His is more of a quiet performance, but it's just as effective, and the two of them on screen really sizzle. The last 30 or 40 minutes is absolutely fantastic. It pays off all the time you'll invest in kind of the more patient, slow first half of the film. It's creepy, it's scary. Most impressive of all, though, it comes from a guy, Ari Aster, who is writing and directing his very first feature film with this movie. Just tremendous. He's definitely a talent to watch. Much of the film's suspense comes in the way that he paces the shots, his inclusion of strange quick cuts, very strange camera angles, slow-moving shots that kind of reveal more than we want them to sometimes. And it's also, he's able to create the demented mood that just works, and it works, and it works. Hereditary is one of the scariest and best horror films of this year. I personally wouldn't go so far to call it one of the best films of the year, but it's definitely worthy of all the hype that it's getting. I give Hereditary a B+. I think you guys should go see it if you dare. But what do you guys think? Follow me at Tom Santilli on Twitter, and check out the website movieshowplus.com, and let's start a discussion about all the latest films. I'm especially interested to hear what you guys have to say about Hereditary. I think it's the kind of movie that's going to generate all kinds of buzz for people. Also online, you can check out my full review of the new film Hotel Artemis, which is the other big release this weekend. You can find that by following me again on Twitter at Tom Santilli. Next week, I'm looking forward to talking about Mr. Rogers, who I hold near and dear to my heart. The new documentary, Won't You Be My Neighbor, hits theaters, and we are going to take a special look at Mr. Rogers and the documentary. Don't want to miss it. That'll do it for this week. Have a great time at the movies.